Lovely! My favorite. Just so you're not frozen to the windshield tomorrow morning. Well, since it's a little stormy out there and I don't really want to deal with it, a few of you have been asking for me to include some camper cooking, which is what we're going to do today, and we are making healthy ground pork stir fry with peanut sauce. I have made this before, it's delicious, and here are all of the ingredients. Of course, we switch a few things up and make this recipe our own, but we have rice. I used this basmati rice. You just need to microwave it. It's really simple. Ground pork, baby spinach, garlic, ginger, green onion. Don't know if you can see that. Lime juice, honey, olive oil, soya sauce. I use the less sodium one, peanut butter, and sriracha. And of course, you might want to grab yourself a beverage. I should also say I like to put in some peas and corn sometimes. We'll see. I got this recipe online. You can probably find it yourself if you go ahead and Google it. I just like to look up recipes online that I think would interest me or intrigue me, and I go ahead and just add my own little twist to it. But we're going to go ahead and do my least favorite thing first, which is peel and mince this ginger. So this recipe calls for minced ginger. I'm just gonna cut this up as fine as I can. Ginger's kind of hard, and yeah, this one's been in my fridge for a little while, but not too long. It's still good. I'm gonna cut it up nice and fine. This recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of minced ginger. I'm not gonna spend too much time on making sure it's perfect, because that's not what I'm all about. Okay, so we've got the ginger all cut up here. I know that that's more than a tablespoon. It's a tablespoon and a half probably, but that's okay. More ginger, more flavor. Next, we've got garlic. This recipe calls for 4 garlic cloves. I already peeled them, spared you guys that, but I'm gonna go ahead and mince these garlic cloves. I do not have a good knife, by the way. I'm just using a cheap knife I got from the superstore probably 10 years ago. I don't know. But it still cuts. It still works. It's all good. Okay, garlic is minced. That's 4 cloves. Again, I don't worry about having it super fine or thin or small. Got the ginger, got the garlic. Next I'm gonna cut up some green onion. This recipe calls for 4. Again, that's just something that if you like green onion, put more than 4 in, because I'm definitely going to. I'm just gonna use up what I have left of my green onion. Probably have I don't know, maybe 6 here, maybe 7. Here we go. Next up is the peanut sauce. We're going to go ahead and start with the peanut butter. It takes 2 tablespoons of this. I'm not sure how much peanut butter I have, but hopefully enough. We'll find out. I had just enough peanut butter for this recipe. Last time I made it though, I found that it wasn't quite enough peanut sauce. So I ended up making more, and I didn't actually pour it right over the whole entire dish. I just poured it over the individual platefuls, if that makes sense. Because if you pour the whole thing over and it's not enough, well, then you're screwed. But if you make a plate and you pour it over, they're good, and then you can just add more later on. I'm actually going to just use what I have left of the peanut butter, because I don't have much left, if you can see. Not much left in there, so we'll go ahead and just use up what's left, which is this. Then we'll add our second ingredient. Next, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of honey. Alright, got about 1 tablespoon here. Go ahead and add that in. Next, to the peanut sauce, we are going to add 1 tablespoon of lime juice. The recipe says rice wine vinegar or lime juice. I'm using lime juice because it's what I have. I typically don't have rice wine vinegar, but it gives it a good flavor anyway with the lime. And next we're going to add, it calls for 1 teaspoon of sriracha. Whoops, I don't have that open. Or you can add more if you like a little extra kick. What is happening with my sriracha here? It is not opening. It's a little crusty on the end. I'm going to add more than a teaspoon, pretty much close to a tablespoon, because I like a little extra kick. And sometimes we end up with a little mess when our stirring knife falls to the floor. Okay, the last thing I need to add is 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, I use the reduced salt soy sauce because there's just a lot of salt in pretty much everything. That's it. Now we stir her up, and yeah. I think if you use the creamy peanut butter, it's better for this recipe. I just had smooth peanut butter, so it's what I used. It looks disgusting. Trust me, I know. It still tastes good. But creamy peanut butter will probably be a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. This looks horrible, I know. It looks kind of chunky. That's probably, like I said, just the smooth peanut butter and not the creamy. Trust me, it is good. It tastes good. That's all that matters. We've got the ginger chopped up and minced. We've got the garlic chopped up and minced. We've got our green onion chopped. We've got our peanut sauce made. Put just a little bit of oil in the pan. Turn that heat down just a little bit. And we're gonna start throwing our pork in. So while that ground pork is frying up, I'm just going to go ahead and start piecing up some of this spinach. Again, nothing fancy. I don't chop it, or is it fuzzy? I don't chop it up fine or anything like that. I literally just break it into a bunch of pieces. The thing about spinach is that it just shrinks down so much. So you can put what you think is like a ton in something, and you look at it like, wow, that's a lot of spinach, but it really just shrinks down. Alright, I'm doing too many things at once. I forgot that partway through cooking the pork, I need to add my ginger and my garlic, so I'm going to do that now. Still has some cooking to do yet, so it should be fine. Man, that ginger smells so good. If you're not a ginger person, maybe you could make this and omit the ginger, or maybe you just don't want to make it. I don't know, but ginger is a very strong flavor, so, you know, not everybody's a ginger person. Okay, so I think I've kind of just chopped up enough spinach. It's almost a big bowl full, so I'll just throw that on in the end. And yeah, it should shrink down. Ground pork is pretty much done. I'm going to go ahead and throw on the spinach. It's going to look like a lot of spinach, but it will It will wilt down. I just put in however much spinach I wanted to. A lot of this dish is just what I want to do, but if you're someone who's very by the book and likes to go exactly by the recipe, it called for 6 ounces of spinach, if that matters to you. But to me, I just put in what I feel like will work for the dish. Alright, I've set my pan over on the side. I shut the heat off. I'm going to go ahead and start to boil some water here for some peas. The recipe does not call for peas, but I like to add peas and sometimes corn to it because it just gives it that little you know? While we wait for the water to boil for the peas, let's take a little intermission here and see what it's doing outside. Ooh. Is that the trees cracking or what was that? Well, as you can see, it's still looking like no thanks. Turns out I actually don't have much peas left in this bag of frozen peas. Basically just like one frozen chunk, so better than nothing, I guess. Alright, 2 minutes. In that time, our peas are done. I'm going to go ahead and scoop those out. So we didn't really get a whole lot of peas out of that, but it's just what I had left in the freezer there. Go ahead and mix that in. Rice is done. Peanut sauce. You just kind of drizzle it over or do it however you like doing it. A little bit of green onion to top, and this is healthy ground pork with peanut sauce. Bon appetit. Oddly enough, this probably would be good with a little bit of scrambled egg in it too. I don't know why, just, you know, one of those things. And I cannot see out of any of my windows except sort of this one. Not sure why that is. Maybe it's the coolest there, but I guess what do I expect? I'm running the buddy heater, did a lot of cooking. Take another, woo, the door. Take another peek outside. I do not want any part of this. No, sir. Ugh, that's enough of that. That's enough of that, Ramsey. Get out of the way, 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 get out of the way. Okay, I get it. So because I had supper, you guys are ready to eat. It's time for the children to eat, right? It's time for the children to eat? Okay. Let me shred these papers. There you go. That's right. Make some fire starter. Is that it? Help me shred this. Come on. Okay. All right. Good job. You're a big help. Thank you. You're marking your territory. Okay. All right. Okay, well, now it's pouring down rain, and that's absolutely fine with me because wash all this snow away, you know? I dig it. I dig it.